Well, it's Mr. Truck with
Kelsey,
and we are out here in Estes Park in the deep snow. We got the Stanley Hotel behind us in the mountain range. We've got geese quacking right in the little pond there. That's Estes Lake. We're out here with this 2014 Ram Laramie Longhorn 2500 diesel. Pretty cool. It's MrTruck. MrTruck here at Vegas 2013. I'm here at the XP3 booth talking to Mark Springer. This is the guy, A&E Shipping Wars. What's the power, Kelsey?
it's got 370 horsepower to 800 torque on it.
Awesome, and that's the thing with these is there is 3 different ratings on a Cummins and a Ram. There's one with the manual transmission, the lowest, and the highest is the high output, the one that pulls that big 30,000 pound trailer. Awesome. I love the color. It's dirty because it's snowed, but this is my favorite color. It's a beautiful truck. And we're in Estes Park.
It's very nice.
Okay. Kelsey, this is cool. You're finally in a Ram. Look at all this stuff. This thing is loaded. Got heated steering wheel. You got power pedals. You can move the brake pedal and gas pedal wherever you want to fit you. All the auto. Now look at the gauges on these. Even the rings around them has got an engraving on it, which is awesome.
It's beautiful.
Well, I've got too many toys on here now. I've got the G-Tech Pro, which I'm using to check braking distance, quarter mile 0 to 60, and eventually we'll do horsepower and torque. And I've of course got all my cameras in here, so we've got plenty of things going on in this windshield. Kelsey, I hope you can see what we're doing.
Yep,
well, there's the G-Tech Pro. Yeah, that's right up there in the middle of what you're looking at. And of course we've got all the cameras. Now this has got the push button, which is awesome. Yeah, that's how you stop it and start it. And then you have the button in your pocket. You walk around with it, and you push buttons just on the door handle to lock it. And it's got remote start. I just love this puppy. And it comes right on with Joe Cocker on Bridge 32. Look at a big screen there in the console. Now the buttons. This is important stuff. You got all the normal stuff in the steering wheel, and this has a lot of stuff. And down here, there's your brake controller, which is, I love that on the right side. And then of course it shows your gain in the screen. Let's see what we're set on gain.
23%, 5.5.
Okay, 5.5 is our gain setting. Now let's see, the next button over is the heated seat button. Let's get that, do that again. You got 2 settings there. Yeah, push it again. Yeah, there's a lower one. And the next one is the cooled seat, and then the next one is the heated steering wheel. And then the other side is my side. And then up the top row, then the middle, let's see, that is the traction control. You can shut that off or on, which I should have done that in the snowbanks I was in. And of course, tow haul mode. And then the exhaust brake is the next one. And you push it once, it's a full exhaust brake like they've had. It's a very powerful one, I love it. You push it twice, and it will tell you in the dash that you're on the automatic. Does it show that? Yeah. Automatic exhaust brake on, it turns green. Oh, and you see it in between the... It's a green button at the bottom there by your shift selector, which is cool. And that is awesome because it actually will ramp up slower. So you got livestock in the back, you put that exhaust brake on, it still works, but it ramps slower. And then if you hit your brakes or go down an extreme steep decline, it'll come on full exhaust brake. So it's basically what they call an automatic exhaust brake, which I really, really like. But yeah, look at all the engraving in here. There's engraving everywhere. And this is got the stitching everywhere, the really nice stitching. It's got little saddlebags in the back of the seat.
With the nice buckles to latch them.
Yes, it's just too cool. This happens to have a moonroof. This is really loaded for what, 66,000 and change. 66,850 bucks for 2,500 loaded crew cab. This is the short bed with the Ram box, and we'll look at that a little bit later.
I do like the stitching inside the steering wheel.
Yeah, that is nice looking, and it's brown, it matches the woodwork. Now the woodwork in the door and the woodwork in the dash is actual real wood. As I would call the story there, it's out of England, out of old barn or old trees that are 100 years old, and they bought them, and this is where the woodwork comes inside these the Longhorn Laramie, or the Laramie Longhorn. I love this center console, 2-stage, and it's got all the extra accessories on the corner. And then you can close that or open that, and then you got the big deep well with some more stuff. And some more electrical outlets. Oh yeah, your 6-disc changer is in there. Awesome. Okay. Okay, now the stem, which has a plus or minus, you mainly shift it. You actually shift it up to 6. Let's see if you can see that when you zoom in. Right there you go. Now you can see that we're bouncing around here on the rough part of the road, but you can see the D, the 6, and the 4. So now we're in 4th gear. That's what the gray 4 means. It means we're in 4th gear. So now you're done. So does that fit you pretty well?
It's actually really nice.
Well, it's really good that you can actually change the pedals. Yeah, it's that button right there.
There it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you can decide where the brake pedal. Oh yeah, that's cool. It's moving. That's awesome. So anybody can fit into these cabs.
Is it nice? There's pockets in the sides too.
Yeah. Well, I like all the pockets they have. I use them all. And that's even a pencil holder back there. That's awesome. You can plug everything in, and you got all kinds of pockets down on the side.
Yeah, I've got a deeper one right here.
Yeah, I've got one on this side too, and you got, of course, the door is full of pockets and cup holders. Love it. Kelsey, see how much room's in the back seat?
It's actually nice. It's huge.
Yeah, looks like you got plenty of room there. And what's on the back of that seat? All right, saddlebags. New Pony Express.
Nice. Ram trucks are the only ones to unlock the toolbox and the tailgate from the key fob.
Awesome. That's good.
Fully loaded.
Wow. What's in there?
A bunch of water is what it looks like.
Yeah, it's 3 water totes. It's about 300 gallons each. We're 12,000 pounds, totally loaded. Okay. And then let it. There you go. Okay, now. Then open it again. Oh, far out. Let me zoom in. Okay, close it. Yeah. Pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, you can see them in there. They just flip out. Yeah, pull it down. Yeah, that's it. Pull down. There you go. Yeah, flip them, fold them up under, just pull them. Yeah, there you go. And then they'll just tri-folding thing. Yeah, then they have a little latch down there and you're good to go. Okay, that's fine. We're going to try again. Okay, there we go. It worked that time. Okay, braking distance. Okay, on this Ram 2500, braking distance, 60 mile an hour at 0 is 159.9 feet. Finally got a readout. Quarter mile, that's not going to work because I didn't go far enough. 0 to 60, it's showing 9.4 and 0 to 60. So now we've got what we need. Okay, It worked. So that's what I must have been doing. I was going too fast. Don't have horses. We do have
some water.
Water.
We have some water.
And we went all the way up to 12,000 pounds, and we are using a weight distributing hitch. So we're all legal. The right weight. See if we can get out of here in two-wheel drive. We may have to. And we may have to put the traction control on. Well, I guess it's on all the time.
It's on all the time.
You want a heated seat? Excuse me.
Why not?
There you go. This heated steering wheel, this heats up fast. Okay, we got deep snow in Colorado. See if we can get out of the yard with the trailer.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
It is a nice big screen.
Yes. And that particular screen you're looking at shows the exhaust brake and the turbo pressure, which I like. Yeah, you may just have to back up in that track with the trailers on to get us enough. There you go.
That way.
Yeah, that's all we need is a little runway. With a trailer, you need sometimes a little bit of a track to drive through it. You guys must have had 6 inches of snow over here too.
We were about a foot, and then last night it kicked in about 6 inches. So
cool. Well, because of the weather conditions and all, decided not to try horses, and plus with this big diesel, I wanted to
fully load it.
Yeah, get as much weight as we could, get us to the maximum end on a bumper pull trailer. Didn't have a gooseneck hitch, this particular one. But we do have factory integrated brake control. And we've got an exhaust brake, which I love the system, the automatic system set up on this. And we'll get to see some snowy mountains. Well, this is what you've been wanting me to bring you, a big Ram diesel.
This is what I want.
Yes, this is a great truck. I've tried to keep it clean for the photo shoots, but it just doesn't happen when you got mud and slush on this road. I washed it this morning, but beautiful truck, and it's my favorite color. It's a metallic brown. I'm sure there's a special name for it. Yeah, Western brown exterior paint, and black cattle tan interior colors. This has a 6.7 diesel, and there's 3 diesel options. They're all Cummins, but the high end is the one that's the high output for pulling those 30,000 pound trailers, and that's 385 foot-pounds of torque and 385 horsepower and 850 foot-pounds of torque. Yeah. And then the low end is the manual transmission one, and it's 350 horsepower and 650 foot-pounds of torque. And Kelsey, what is this one?
Yeah, 370 horsepower to 850 torque. 800.
Awesome. Yeah, 800 foot-pounds of torque. This one does very well.
Everybody behind us are gonna think we're crazy for hauling water.
Yeah, well, I can't see it, so it'd be our secret.
It's just a heavy trailer, right?
Yeah. And got a weight distributing hitch. I'm not exactly as level as I want. I'm going to have to get a drop-down hitch for this tall truck. And I did measure it empty and then with the trailer tongue weight on there, which on 12,000 pounds, I'm probably closer to 1,500 pound tongue weight. But the truck with this new coil is a progressive coil, so the coils are smaller when they spread further apart. Which means that they'll give you more resistance as you put more weight. It's ideal for a loaded situation. And Ram does rate this one higher payload and cargo than their leaf springs of last year and beyond. So does well. And when I measured the squat without the trailer tongue weight on there, it was about 1 3/4 inches is what it squatted, which has got to be similar to what their coil was. I mean, their leaf spring, the Hotchkiss leaf spring they had prior to this. But it looks. And it sounds awesome. You can always hear these Cummins. They have a special rumble to them.
It's quiet still, though.
Yeah, it is. They've been quiet since 2003 when they went to the pilot injection, which they still have. And they've improved their insulation packages to the top of the line. There may be one more step up. This is the Longhorn Laramie Longhorn. And even the second row seats are heated on this puppy.
It's got a big back seat in there.
Yeah, it does. The crew cab is dramatically larger than the quad cabs. It's not as big as the mega cab, but this is a more realistic crew cab that the average person needs. I really like it.
it's comfortable, even for somebody big, tall.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we can get enough horses in this to get to 12,000 pounds. Might be tricky. You have to get some Clydesdales and some Percherons.
Yeah.
But with the water, so feel free to do whatever you want to do. If you want to accelerate, check out the exhaust brake. If you want to brake hard, whatever you want to do, we're not going to hurt any animals today. So it's up to you what you want to do with this bad boy.
It is cool how it shows you how much exhaust brake you're using.
Yeah, I love that gauge. Right in the middle. You can scroll through whatever you want to see in the digital readout. I mean, that's an 8.4 screen. It's very large.
Very large, easy to see.
Yeah. So when you get the big trailers, you pull in the mountains. It's an awesome deal to see, you know, how much your turbo's putting out, and it's awesome to see how much your exhaust brake is helping you slow down. We'll get up in the mountains and we'll move the cameras around a bit so we can get some scenery along with us in the truck.
You see a nice, pretty Colorado snow.
Yep, that's gorgeous. We got the mountains in the background. Now, $66,000. Of course, the guy might just have to sell a kidney to get this rascal. But I don't know. This might be worth a kidney.
It might be. I'd buy one.
It's even got a moonroof. This thing has about every toy known to man. But yeah, the heated steering wheel is awesome when you're out here in the cold Colorado. And the seats, you get spoiled by all these things.
Yeah, I'm liking the fact that these pedals move forward for short people like me.
Yeah, you should be able to dial in just where it fits you. You got the tilt wheel. You don't have telescoping wheel yet. I suppose that's coming.
Eventually.
Yeah. Now everybody knows that the trick on these shifters, the Ford is nice where you can see which gear you're in all the time. GM, you have no clue without counting your gears or listening to the RPMs. On this one, with the manual selector on the stick, let's see. If you look at where your shifter shows, well, hitting 6th gear is the high end, and that's why you round it up. So that's where it limits itself. Of course, you can't go past that. But now you know you're in 4th gear, and each time you change gears, you'll see they're going to buffalo. I should get a view of the buffalo out here. They're running too fast. Can't see them. Anyway,
we can come back.
Yeah, but that gear selector. Now you got an inside story there. You can define usually would be, but that shows you in the gray that it's a 4th gear. So every time that gear shifts, now you'll know what gear you're in. You won't be guessing. The manual shift is nice if you want to manually shift to the mount or someplace, or go through the gears or whatever you want to do for speed. You can do that, but using that just to get to the high end, put it in the highest gear, which is 6th on this one, and then the gray, light gray colored one is your actual gear. See, now it's in 5th. It shifted up to 5th going downhill. But I always like knowing what gear it's in, just like if you're in a manual transmission. It's one of those things. I think it's kind of a nice information to have, especially going downhill or uphill. You know what gear you're in, and if the RPMs are really high for that gear, or what you're doing. So you can have some manual controls over these trucks, because they try to do as much as they can be automatic and safe for you. But it's still nice to have some control on these trucks. 18-inch wheels.
It's got the backup camera too. That's
yeah, it
really
does.
Nice.
It does, and I haven't figured it out. It looks almost like there's a lens up on the top brake light, that 3rd light up on top. I know it's an option. I haven't found the button to turn it off or on yet, and I know the rear won't work off the windshield. But yeah, you do have an option on this to see the gooseneck camera, which you can hook up, which is nice. This one happens to have the one in the mirror. I like it when it's on the GPS, the big screen, which must be an option. Can't always be on the mirror.
It's in the mirror when I back up?
Yeah, when you back up, you see it on the left side. That's your backup mirror. So it's kind of a small one. So if you're looking at a little tiny ball, sometimes it's really hard to be accurate. I'm sure there's a way of switching it down here. I'll have to look at that. But a lot of them, this is your main center console screen is also your backup camera screen. And it's nice to see a big picture of that ball and coupler when you try to hook them up.
They'll save you from having to go forward and back up a bunch of times.
Yeah, you don't wear the hinges out on your door. You don't get anybody cussing at you because you can't quite get there from here. But, yeah.
It'll make it so much easier to do it by yourself, too.
Yep, and that's usually, you know, I mean, for me, I'm always hooking up by myself. I very seldom have somebody with me, and I'm hooking the trailer up.
Yep.
Get them later on. This is a 342, which is basically what you'll see in a 2500, and maybe you only actually get with a 6.7 diesel. But this also has the dual amp alternators, so you're up to 440 amps, which you ought to be able to weld with this one, you know, or convert it to an ambulance. But anyway, it's got all that, so if you want to run a winch off of it, or if you have a lot of things on your trailer you're using, you've got all the power you'll ever need.
That's wise to plan.
Yeah, I've got some good tug weight. I'm surprised how much this thing slips when we take off in this trailer.
And it doesn't help that the road's all watery.
Yeah.
Slick. They normally have all of their cows out running. I guess they're all joined now.
Yep, everybody's enjoying the sunshine out here after the snow.
It's only been snowing for the last 3 days.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Colorado. This will be melted by the end of the week. Now this does have a class 5 receiver, which is that 2.5-inch square receiver back there. I had to use a reducer to put my weight distributing hitch on there. This is the Anderson no sway weight distributing hitch. It's a quick attachment. I really like this one. It's quiet, has a neoprene bushing on the chains. We'll show you that in just a little bit. In the Ram box, and we'll show you that in a little bit too, your key fob, whatever you're going to use with this truck, locks your doors, locks your Ram boxes, locks your tailgate. With a tonneau cover on there, you've got a lot of good cargo space, like that giant trunk or like an SUV. Similar things that you can lock in the back of this rascal.
I wish my tailgate locked.
Yeah, that's one of the number one things that gets stolen in these vehicles is tailgates. You know, they can be $500, $600, $700. It's not a cheap thing. Now we'll see if this exhaust brake holds. You'll be able to watch the gears and everything else. Feel it kicking in?
Yeah,
you can hear it.
Yeah,
the exhaust brake is wonderful on this. You can actually just control this truck with your cruise control. Yeah. And it grade shifts very well. The earlier Rams, back when they were Dodges, you had to hit the RPMs first to get the exhaust brake to work well, and then you grade shift in lower RPMs. Well, this one does it all automatically. It doesn't matter when you kick in. It's going to grade shift where it needs to, and that'll raise the RPMs. Your exhaust brake will kick in. Very controllable with the trailer. We'll get that when we get to the mountain. Just different feels of it. Yeah, it makes you feel safer coming down the hills because you're not going to be touching your brakes and making them skid in icy conditions like this. So it's a very big safety factor. And then you use your brakes too much, you get hot. You actually can boil the brake fluid right out of the reservoir. You get really toasty. So you don't want to be using just your trucks and your trailer's brakes. Exhaust brake and a grade shifting from the transmission, which locks up the torque converter and holds it just like a manual transmission would. So you get the same kind of control you would on a manual transmission, which is, in years gone by, 10 years ago, that's what we always, in the mountains, we always used manual transmissions. And now then exhaust brakes are the next big thing to slow you down in the mountains. Well, now lock up torque converters, each gear can lock up, so you can run an automatic transmission like a manual transmission, and it'll hold in the gear, and then you've got exhaust brake and some powerful brakes on this. I think there are a little over 14-inch rotors on this. Now, if we can pull over someplace, I'll change that one camera mount. Put it on the back. I flipped these mirrors out in the trailer position. Is that working for you? Can you see around the trailer?
I can.
This trailer is 7'3", so it is fairly wide. Not as wide as an RV.
But it's a decent sized trailer.
Yeah, and it's 8.5 Defender, 7'3" to the outside. It's a winter wonderland. Look at all these trees.
White trees.
Like steamboat. Yeah, it looks like one of those little snowballs. What do they call those things? They shake and they.
Snow globes?